Cathy McLeish here, Alcoholism Unpacked. Today I want to talk a little bit about what it feels like to start getting sober. And you know, if you follow my videos, you know that I got sober when I was 27, and that was quite a while ago. Here's what I want to tell you. The impact of that time in my life is so strong that I can remember it like it was yesterday. Getting sober is a very scary prospect. You know, it's like you're up against a wall and something needs to change. And I don't even think I could see it myself. I backed into recovery trying to fix someone else, and then they decided they weren't going to do it. But I had heard enough in this room of people that were trying a new way to live that I knew that I needed to think about doing that. I was living like they had been living. I was doing the things they had done in their drinking days. And so if 2 + 2 = 4, then my activities, the things I was doing, the way I was living equaled being maybe an alcoholic. But boy, was that scary. One, the label just sucks. Nobody wants to be an alcoholic. Nobody thinks about growing up to be a person who is not only not drinking one day at a time for forever, but also you got a label of an alcoholic. And yet on the other side of that, it is like winning the lottery. You get this if you actually take your life and you break it down to find out why drinking was my answer. Why was it that I didn't like to talk about feelings? I didn't like to look at anything in the past. Some of it wasn't even that big of a deal. And I was like, no, don't talk about that. I don't want to go there. What does that have to do with today? Just accept me how I am today. And then, because I couldn't even handle my own emotions, drinking became my answer. And then when it first just started to take the edge off, it was like sandpaper on the sharpness of life. That was a good thing. It was actually working. It was kind of even fun. And then I needed more. And then I needed more. And then I needed what was very much too much, because I was drinking all day long from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And at the end, I was trying to think all day long how it would be different tomorrow. So most of that was inside my head. Most of that, the people that were in my life that had shrunk way down, there weren't that many people in my life at the end. Most of those people did not know how I was feeling about my life, because as a practicing alcoholic, I couldn't hardly see the truth. I couldn't hardly speak the truth about my life. So I make this decision that I think maybe I'm going to try this life. I think because everything is falling apart, I don't even know how to keep it together anymore. I think I have to try something different. And so I start a day at a time, not drinking. And it is by the hour. It is by the minute. And for a lot of people, they can't relate. And maybe that's because they don't have a problem with alcohol. But for the person that is relying on alcohol to get them through the day, it has become an addiction. And I want it. I feel an emotion, I want it. The phone rings, I want it. Somebody says something to me I don't like, I want it. I want my go-to that takes the edge off, that takes me away, that makes me not feel what I don't want to feel. And in recovery, one of the tasks that I had to face was I was going to have to start feeling those emotions. If I was going to walk away from a drink, from my solution, and find another solution, I had to start feeling the emotions. I had to start talking about the things I was uncomfortable with in my life. So if you are putting down a drink and you have no other solution, it's going to suck. Can I just say that? It is going to suck, because early recovery is so uncomfortable that I need a new solution, and I need hope. And I found hope getting in the middle of a group, whether it's IOP, whether it's going in to a treatment center for a week, a month, whatever you feel you need to do, whether it is getting in some kind of recovery room where there are people that just come for nothing and talk about changing their life and living without alcohol. I needed a place to set myself in the middle of hope and the promise that what I was doing was going to pay off. And I found that circle. And everybody needs to find that circle. I am pretty explicit on that. I don't tell people to do a lot of things. I don't try to tell people what kind of recovery they need, but you do need a group of people that are walking the walk, that understand the pain, that understand the frustration. Because in early sobriety, the other people in my life didn't give a rat's ass. They really weren't invested in me. They had stepped away, or they were just maintaining their life around me because I was so unpredictable and undependable. Those people, I'm not saying they didn't love me, but I had pushed them away with my drinking to the point that it hurt them more to be close to me than to be away from me. So I don't fault them. I might have at that time, but I don't fault them today. They were taking care of themselves, and any healthy person should do that. They should step back from the alcoholic and take care of themselves. And so there I was, trying to get sober, a little bit alone, and very, very scared. And by scared, I don't mean that I couldn't, function. I just mean it was very scary to not know what was coming next, to not know if I'd made the right decision, to not be able to turn back because there was nothing behind me that was going to be any better than what was in front of me. So there was so much fear of the unknown. And today I look at it like it was this bridge. And so here's my life over on this side, and it sucks. And it sucks big. There's going to be consequences. There's going to be prison time. There's going to be, divorce. There is no money. There are no friends and family that are willing to pick up the pieces. This is not a good life. On this side, I don't know what there is. People are promising me that it will be better, but I don't know that. And there is this bridge that I had to trust and walk across with the enthusiasm of the people that I saw that were doing it, and it was working for them, with their hope, with the faith that they had that it would work for me like it worked for them. I had to walk across that bridge a day at a time and stay away from a drink, and then start reaping the benefits that as I got across it, the faith that I had in what they had became my own. I mean, I'm not necessarily talking about a spiritual solution. Eventually, it does become that for a lot of people. But what I'm talking about is the reality of taking one step at a time without a drink, and then coming to find out that drinking was actually more of the problem than it was the solution. So if you're early in sobriety, that's about all you can handle for now, is understanding that it is a bridge and you will cross over it to this life that is more than you could ever hope for. But you have to just believe the people that are telling you that it is true. But I did. I crossed that bridge. I have that life. And it didn't come to me in my 40s or my 50s. It came to me in my 20s. I want to say almost immediately. What came to me almost immediately was relief. Was the feeling that I was in the solution and no longer in the problem. Was the feeling that I could have hope again, and that maybe there was a promise of something better. That was almost immediate. The other gifts came pretty quickly after that. Within months, within the first year, I had so much of what I had wanted in my life that I didn't have when I was drinking. So, if you're newly sober, please set yourself in a group. Get yourself surrounded by people that are doing what you're doing. That's where we relate. That's where we see who we want to be. That's where we have a path to follow, specific directions to get from there to here. So, Cathy McLeish, Alcoholism Unpacked, please subscribe and follow. Find out the realities of living with an alcoholic, being an alcoholic, and what the promises are on the other side of this disease, because you don't have to stay in the problem. You can move into the solution and have a life that you only dream about today. Thanks.